So the Keck College Transition Project, that was a community-based research project that at part of VIU as the BC Regional Innovation Chair for Aboriginal Early Child Development partnered up, and also the school district. And we were just looking at ways to help families and children transition from the early years into kindergarten. And so we went to the Harlem Children's Zone in New York City, and we were looking at that project there. Yeah. And they called it the Baby College. So that's where we got the idea of Keck College. And Keck means baby in Halkminam, and it means the trajectory of working with a child from a baby right up to post-secondary. So following the child all the way from being an infant into post-secondary. It's the Keck College is run for 3 weeks in the summertime, and it's an open door for families to come in, and they have special events for families to be involved in. And in the program, there's an early child educator, teacher, a kindergarten teacher, and an elder that's equal in relationship on the floor as a teacher throughout the program. And so it's interchangeable with their roles in leadership. And they develop a curriculum that's culturally based with language, songs, and they do activities that are culturally appropriate to the territory here, which is Snuneymuxw. So the age groups are from 3 to 6, so they're from very little ones to ones that are just merging into kindergarten. And the idea is that it just gives them opportunity to learn how to feel comfortable within a school setting, because also the program is run in a school. Yeah. So then parents get familiar with the school. And we first began the Keck program. We developed the Keck curriculum framework, which is above there. I don't know if you can actually see it through the video, but it's a framework that we developed that looked at core values, learning intentions, and working from a strength-based approach. So looking at the gifts of the child and really looking at observing and having the elders be the main person within the program to really see the gifts of the child, because that's what our elders used to do in the past, is they'd be able to observe and acknowledge what gift that child had and just build on that. And the objectives is just strengthening culture and being more holistic, developing healthy relationships, being more culturally focused with the land. With the children, particularly when I've gone in there, I've seen children have more of a stronger sense of how to do things in protocol. So understanding the respects to the drum, learning how to say Haichkasiam when they're doing things, and just knowing how to interact with an elder as well, and the respect of getting a tea or a food for an elder. So they just learn it because they're in that learning environment. And a lot of the teachers that receive the children that attended the program notice that their attention is longer. They're able to transition quite easily from one task to another, and their skills are ahead of what they would normally see. So there is success. As an Aboriginal lady, that it's important to really recognize that there's two education pathways. And my grandfather, Danielle Alphonse, used to always speak to me when I was younger, saying that you're going to have to walk both roads. And it's that biculturalism, so walking the road in the mainstream world and then walking an Indigenous pathway. And that Indigenous education is holding to tradition and to culture, following protocol, and really understanding your ancestors and your roots and your family ties. So I think that education and being really truly connected to elders, because they're the ones that have the knowledge, they're the knowledge keepers, and being able to look after our land. From a post-secondary stance, it's just enriching your knowledge base and following your gifts and thinking about your purpose. And I think it's about growth and opportunity. I feel that education should be equal and that everyone should have access. I'm hopeful that there will be more success rate in high school completion. So I'd like to see more Aboriginal youth completing high school. I would really like to see more post-secondary students, and I'd like to see more faculty, Indigenous faculty, here in the post-secondary world. Um, and when I think about Indigenous education, I think that we're moving forward here at VIU in the sense that we're talking about indigenization and truth and reconciliation. So I feel that there's movement and there's lots of acknowledgement of protocol and understanding our history and our past, and being able to move forward with understanding and mutual respect. So I feel that I'd love to see for in post-secondary and here is language. From my perspective and from the work that I'm doing, it's just, again, reconnecting and following the lead of communities. I feel like the communities have the answers. The chiefs and the leadership that is already residing there, they know their communities best. So being able to highlight and illuminate those needs in the community, I think, need to be more clear and transparent. I think for an early childhood perspective, we need a lot more funding to sustain, because I feel that, I strongly believe early childhood education is the foundation of learning, and I think all children should have access. And so I think for all Canada, I would really like to see more research and more funding supporting early childhood programs, because that's the base of education. And I also like to see more language revitalization, so more language nests. And I think baby steps in engaging community and all the educational institutes and having more true collaboration and true partnership in connection and community development. So more conversations need to be had with the nations and with the leaders of each of the nations, so the chief and councils. So I'd like to see, I think in the next 10 years, it's going to take some time to have partnerships. So I'd like to see some true collaborative relationships with the nations to develop a good plan for each of the nations. And for Canada, that would take a specific individualized plans. Yeah, it can't be just a one blanket approach and that's it. You know, how we can approach indigenization for all of Canada. I think each community has different needs, and compared to being remote, to being on reserve, to being in in a rural community. So there's lots of different aspects.